Got a weekly watch list I'd like to go over. Before I do so, come over to ztrades.net. Check out our terms and conditions page if you don't agree to it, as well as our disclaimer. Do not watch this video and do not join the Discord. If you do, join the Discord. Feel free to watch this video. Let's jump into it. IWM, interest rate sensitive. You can see how hard it tore this day, 218 and 225. That was rate cuts. We got a half point cut coming. It is around elections, which is very sketchy. I don't like that. That hammer right off of the, is that the 50? That is the 50 EMA I have right there. I need to change the colors. Right off the 50 EMA. Let me go ahead and change this up. So these all are different colors. Right there would have been the entry. 216 and Friday that was 221. I've been in this since I don't remember where, right over in here somewhere. It may have been here, expecting us to push out, but that would have been the perfect entry. I'm green on it. I'm hoping and expecting this to move basically to this range where it rejected prior. And it may fight there. It could break through. It may fight there. Do I really care? No, because when it comes up and kisses this range again, even at 224, I can go ahead and shave most. If I'm going to keep a decent amount of contracts on, I can just sell calls against the calls I bought, eliminating pretty much most or all of the risk. Or just leave one on. I mean, these got some time on them. So let's go ahead and jump into what else I'm looking at here. I'm looking at AMD. Let's pull this up on the weekly so we can really dive into this. Let's back this up a bit. I'm just going to do this live. I'm going to draw it live instead of doing it prior. I want this to kiss as many lines as possible. Look at it fitting in like it's like a Lego. Look right here. Like a Lego, just perfectly right into place, or a puzzle piece. I want to see these two tops right here, just fitting in just right. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit more visible. We could have a little bit of a pullback and a dance. At the end of the day, we're out of the range and the zone that I'd like to be out of. Let's go ahead and make this thicker, more visible. And I'd love to see AMD back up here where it rejected before, 186. That would be great. I don't expect that until maybe late December, when we're probably going to do another rate cut, possibly. Or we have a clear vision of what 2025 is going to look like in terms of the Fed rate. So that could really get things soaring. So AMD's on watch for a continuation here. This thing's been bare forever. You know, we've had to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks there. We had a little bounce, 1, 2 weeks. That's 7 weeks in this whole range from July to now has been pretty much bearish and not picking a direction. I'd love to see this come back down here. You always have to have these trend lines charted out. You want to. I have a wedge script. I don't have it on an automatic wedge script, which is offered with ZTrade's Diamond membership. But I don't have it up here because I want to draw it out live for you guys, sort of for educational purposes, so you guys can see it and learn a bit. TSM, let's pull TSM up. This looks great. I had this drawn out on the weekly. This thing looks like it wants to go. You know, TSM, what they have going on with Apple. You know, even though they're not China, they're Taiwan, China, you know, cutting their rates or injecting liquidity into their market. Us cutting their rates, I expect this to boom and break out past that high. PLTR. Let's pull this up on a monthly. We've now double topped to where we were right over here. Well, we've almost double topped. 45-ish is the double top. And this thing has been running for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months. I called this right here as another equity entry as well as options. I called the $40 options. That was a gorgeous candlestick reversal. Look at that with that body. The body's getting smaller. This wick higher than that one. I mean, and it's Palantir. They have negative debt. If I added equity and it dropped back to these EMAs, I could just add more and hold it. More money is owed to them in contracts than debt they have. That was as of 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know about now, but last time I had checked, that was the truth, or that was that's what they had going on. Now if we break out of this, this could be wild. This is getting very overbought over here. I have recently sold covered calls on PLTR, so we'll see what happens and where she ends up. But I've sold some calls for November 15th. I've sold the 50s for 100 and something, 100 and some change. If it looks like at expiration it's going to break out past there, I can simply roll the calls, the covered calls. What else do I have on watch here? I am watching Google as well as Microsoft and Amazon. Home Depot. Home Depot's more of a watch list for months here. You know, we got this cup and handle. This isn't a weekly watch list. We did reject at the double top right there. That was almost to the cent. 421.52, and this hit 420. This was very close. Very close. But we had a cup and handle. Cup, here's the handle. Beautiful play. With a rejection here, it could dance around and break out. I'm not looking at that for next week. I'm looking at that overall where I think it's going to go. Let's just pull up NVIDIA, which is always on a watch list. Always. Clear as day reversal right there, just on the monthly candlesticks. Look at the weekly, guys. Are you kidding me? It looks absolutely fantastic. This is not lining up. There we go. I don't need to chart the bottom. Just look at the top. I mean, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful right there. We don't need this here. I expect all-time highs again. I do. MSTR is another one. This is something I'm already in. NVIDIA. I'm in swings on this. MSTR, I've been in equity. I should have been in options, but they're so freaking juiced. They cost so much money to get into any of these things. MSTR, you know, they dilute shares and do equity offerings and then buy Bitcoin with the dilution sometimes. And then Bitcoin goes up. It causes the value of the stock to go parabolic. I mean, we were just at this little baby hammer down here, right off the 200. Where the heck was I at? $49, 46 to $49, and now it's at 212. That was just back in February. You know, you could have what? What is that? 4x your money, over 4x your money. So Michael Slayer, I haven't read the article. I had reposted it. He was talking about something with a Bitcoin bank. So now that MicroStrategy is going to have, now it's going parabolic. Absolutely nuts. Here's the last crypto having $11 to 132. 13x your money. Over here we've got 13. We're now at 212. This MicroStrategy could shoot up to 300 easily, in my opinion. This thing could go parabolic if Bitcoin can surge and go past 100K. I expect MicroStrategy to go parabolic. I'll go ahead and exit there. May start entering shorts somewhere in the 300s. Very slowly. The higher it goes, I'll add more. Just kind of like adding shares. Whenever a stock is collapsing, dollar cost averaging in, I can dollar cost average on the way up in short positions, holding for 2026. I'm not looking to jump the gun on that here still in 2024 or in early 2025. Maybe mid, maybe late, definitely late 2025 if crypto is still up and that whole space is up. Possibly then. I'll have to judge it when we get there. Google was another one. Google was one that I'm looking at. Let's pull up Google right now. I'm in swings on this. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I didn't even see that. Look at that hammer right there on the monthly. So as long as this can hold up, I really expect us to push. That was a 1, 2, 3 reversal. 146 in September. shot back up. Let's take a look at the weekly and see what we have going on. That doesn't look pretty. That does not look pretty. Give me one moment here. I had something that I had posted in another channel. There we go. Yeah, let's take a look at this. I really don't like that. Really do not like that. This could come back to 156. If tech's gonna be bullish and all that's gonna be bullish, then I want some clear as day TA here. Kind of like TSM had in AMD. AMD and TSM look great. NVIDIA is gonna just continue, in my opinion. It could have some weeks where she's flat. I don't like that. We're really gonna have to suck back up and really be around 170 for this to continue and break out. But this peel over right here, if you look at the tops with a suck down, I don't know. I am in calls for March as well as January. So they're down a little bit, not that much. We'll see what happens here. Someone else had this charted a bit differently, and I'm trying to figure out how. You can elongate the charts depending on what charting software you're using. But, you know, whenever I have to start making it make sense, that kind of makes sense. But I'm kind of forcing that here to make sense. Let's go ahead and make this a little bit bigger. You don't want to force the charts. You want it to just be kind of smacking you in the face. I don't like the candles right there and the wave and the direction. It could be something I could possibly add to if we come down to the 50. Or if we come down to here, then yeah. What else do we have going on? We have Microsoft that's been bearish as can be. I'm going to be watching Google. Microsoft looks fantastic on the weekly over here. Let's take a look at the daily and see what we have. You know, it is a top 10 in the S&P, so it would not surprise me if we reversed and went bull on this as long as the market is going to head up. I don't like that over in here. I do like the fact that this body closed above that one. That's at least good. But we've got some EMAs we're going to have to punch through in order to continue back up. If this thing cracks, it's not looking good. Let's take a look at the... that's not going to help me out at all, the monthly. Take a look at the weekly. That does not look good to me. That doesn't look good. We'll see. That's not something I'm going to be taking a position on. Google possibly. Amazon was another one. Let's take a look at Amazon. And I'm going to go ahead and... I'm charting this live for you guys instead of having it already drawn out. That way you guys can kind of pick my brain a bit and see what I have going on. And see what I'm thinking. That can go either way here. I really don't like it right here. Let's go ahead and chart Apple. TSM I really like. I really like TSM. And let's go ahead and chart this. That fits just right. I like it. That fits just right. Look at this little channel over here going down. When was this? Back in April? That was an ad right there. Was that an ad or what? Let's go ahead and make this a little bit more visible. I'm going to change the width to 5, and we're going to make this white. Again, I sound like Bob Ross. Apple's one to keep on watch. That's for sure. Everything's more tighter, a little bit more clear. Not having to force the charts to indicate where I wanted to go. You'll see people do that a lot. You know, if they're bullish, they'll look on every time frame until they're like, oh, I found one on the 3 hour. Here's a bull flag on the 3 hour, you know, or something like that. They'll find some type of validation. You want to see, I respect the overall higher time frames first. They have superiority. It's kind of like a chain of command. Higher time frames will indicate what the lower time frames are going to do. Example, if something's trending down and I'm trying to day trade calls and it's not working out and every bull flag breaks and then break, you may be bullish on a 5-minute. There's a bull flag, right? The bull flag kind of breaks out a little bit. The descending wedge kind of breaks out a little bit. And then you're not listening to the higher time frames and the trend on a higher time frame, let's say a 4-hour or a daily, that is bearish and it is superior. That's the chain of command, right? Its boss is telling the worker at the bottom, you're going to keep going down, you're not going up. So a lot of those bull patterns will fail. Versus if it were to be trending up on a higher time frame, and we've got some bullish patterns, candlestick patterns, whatever it may be, then those will end up playing out more. So let's see where Apple is. It would be cool to have Apple around 223 and curl around right off the 50 here. That would be pretty cool. If not, overall, she's in this pattern. I'm looking at TSM, IWM for a continuation, NVIDIA for a continuation. Nothing really screaming to me right now other than Taiwan Semiconductor. That's about it from what I have here. A lot of stuff has already started to break out and is going. So let's take a look at, there may be one more thing I have on watch. I'm going to be watching China. I'm possibly bullish on China going into next week. Let's pull up Bitcoin. Let's take a look at, there we are. We're right back up again. Let's go back over to a weekly. It's not looking bad, that's for sure. It's definitely not looking bad. That is looking hot. We're about to actually, if this was the higher, well, last month we did close a higher low. We've got 2 weeks left. Anything can happen, but where this is going right now, this is about, looks like it's about to surge out into elections and into rate cuts, especially if it's going to be a half-point cut. I'd like to see 70 again. And again, like I talked about on prior videos, I'd like it to hover around in this space over here, right? Anywhere 67 and above, and then 70 and above, till we push on 75 and ultimately break through. And the consolidation that we've had, this could be a monster move if it breaks through. Sure, it could pop up, have a nice bullish move up even over into here. I'd like to see it consolidate and tick up and then explode out of here, out of this range. We've been consolidating for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you count that isn't really consolidation. I'd say this period on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months. 6 months of consolidation, and it has held up very well. Sure, we've had a couple quick bounces down to the 50s. Look how long it stayed there for, like, an hour, maybe, and then sucked right back up. I mean, this Bitcoin came down to 58, if you remember. 59, 58, and it's already back at 63. We're up 6 grand just like that. So as of right now, we have a lot of Bitcoin moving off of exchanges. So there's going to be less of it available to buy. And this is when the supply crunch hits and we usually blow up. So depending on who gets in office, it could be really good for Bitcoin. I think both candidates are going to be lenient on Bitcoin. One of the candidates wants to add it to the Federal Reserve, wants to start buying it. That can help with the debt. That could be a really, really, that could be a breakthrough for Bitcoin here. And then as well as when banks can hold it. When you can send it to your bank, that in layman's terms, when I can send it to my bank, that is going to be one of the biggest catalysts. Let's take a look at bonds. I'm getting hit a bit on bonds right now. Overall, they're up from the bottom. I bought around 84. It's a shame I couldn't have bought at 82. We're at 93. It was nice hanging around 101, but you saw those wicks forming. I was right at 98. I probably should have jumped out of some of those. And we don't have much more room down till we hit this. If Iran and Israel hit each other's energy sites, this is going to plummet back down to here because the dollar is going to explode. How long that war would go on, I don't know. It could be very bad, very devastating. You've got every country around Israel foaming at the mouth and drooling to go in there. So that energy's cooked. If that happened, everyone would act like it's no big deal, like, oh, just a Middle Eastern war. Wrong. We would have a violent gas shortage over here. The price of gas would go parabolic. Inflation would go mad. How do you get your goods? Through trucks. What do trucks use? They use diesel fuel, right? So, and the cost of diesel doubles or triples. Come on. That's why everyone who wants to end fossil fuels immediately, which doesn't make any sense, you want a bunch of lower income people and projects to buy $80,000 EVs, it doesn't make any sense. Energy isn't going anywhere anytime soon. We're hopefully going to slowly, this is off topic, go into hydrogen, which would be better for the environment, and the power grid could actually handle it, versus there's one supercharging station where I live here in Tampa. There's 1.9 million people here and one station for supercharging. One. And there's only 6 chargers? How does that math work? Come on, guys. We're not there. We're not there. We need to, everyone needs to understand how things work and take fossil fuels into consideration before they start beating their chest about ending them abruptly. But let's see if we can bounce here on TLT and continue back up. I'd like to see 110 on this. I'd say anywhere above 105, let's say we're at 107, 110, I may start taking some profits. I don't know what the heck I'm going to roll into there outside of corporates, but I'd like to see 110 on this. I really would. This range where it was before, 109, 107 to 109, focus on the bodies and the wicks. I'd like to see that. It also depends on how hard we're going to cut. If there is a monster war going on and then we have to pay for everybody else to go to war, they're going to be cutting interest rates like mad, regardless of, they're not going to raise them, they're going to cut them, regardless of inflation, and inflation will go loony, right? It'll go absolutely Looney Tunes. Let's take a look at ZROZ. I added some of that last week. Let's see what we have going on with 25-year plus treasury strips that I didn't know until right now that I just charted it, that they are at a support, or they're bouncing off of a trend line here that we have. You want to see a trend line hit it. You want to see a trend line hit 3 times, which is exactly what happened here. 1, 2, 3. So I don't want to see us bounce through that. We had been bull for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months on ZROZ. Not that bullish, but keep in mind this thing was 63 and went to 87. It's over a $20 move, which is not bad. So I'd like to see us bounce up. Probably not this week. Maybe this week. It may stay right around where it is. But leading into rate cuts November 5th. I'm pretty sure it's November 5th. It's early November. Half point cut is on the table. This could blast back up into anticipation. I'd love to see it back at 80, 81. That would be great. To have this breakout higher, and really go nuts, I don't think that's going to be until December when they talk about their plans in terms of rates for, just like last December, which was 5 seconds ago. If you guys remember that, when the market exploded, it was 2 seconds ago. This is crazy how fast time is flying. And what's on the table for 2025, and have rates just plummet, have the dollar plummet. The dollar, last thing I'm going to cover here, the dollar, we had I don't know why I have that charted there. Let's go ahead and remove that. We had a 1, 2, 3 reversal, just like here. 1, 2, 3 reversal. Now, are we going to pull back down after this? It's kind of looking sketchy, like the dollar wants to run a bit. I hope that it's not predicting anything. We did reject off that EMA, which is good, off the 100. So hopefully we can peel back down. If we peel back down, because the market was still holding up really well with the dollar pushing, then the market should fly. I like that it respected that. I really like that. If it closed, with no wick above that, I mean, that's not good. That is not good. Could we do a 1, 2, 3 and have another candle up? Possibly. To this range up here to 103. 104 would just be devastating. I don't want that to happen, but let's see what happens here. Let's see if we can peel back down and drop and create a new low. That would be fantastic on the dollar. That would be good for Bitcoin. At the end of the day, it's running out of time. We could get one more week. I do not expect the dollar to be up right around rate cuts early November. We're halfway through the month here in October. So if the dollar has any strength left in it, it may be for just one more week, in my opinion. I'm trying to short sell TTT, Tango, 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 inverse treasuries, and it won't let me. There's none available to short. None. I covered half at like a 0.5% gain when I saw that 1, 2, 3 reversal. And the rest that I'm in right now, it's at a loss. It's not a big deal. I'm not looking to cover it anytime soon. I'm looking to hold this well into 2025. I want to add more, and right off that EMA would be great, and I can't because there's none available to short. So we'll see. All right, guys, if you all like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. I'm really looking at Google. I'm keeping my eyes peeled on Apple. Microsoft looks a bit sketchy. It kind of has a setup. I'm really watching TSM next week. That's what I'm looking at, as well as China. We had more comments out about their economy and what they have going on, getting everything running again. Eyes on China, eyes on TSM next week.